So then let us take a look at what it is and what started the mourning of Abu Abdullah Husayn alayhi salam. Where did all of this begin? It begins before Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It begins with the other prophets. We hear about Nabi Adam alayhi salam, that when he is taught the names of Ahlul Bayt, and he says to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you have taught me the names of Muhammad, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, and Ali and Fatima and Hassan, and when I hear these names I'm so happy. However, when I hear the name of Husayn, I become saddened and I begin to cry. Why is this? And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells Nabi Adam about this, and Nabi Adam begins to weep over Abu Abdullah al-Husayn. Now obviously there's more detail to this story, but we've got to move on because we have to tell you some more. We see that Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam is passing through Karbala, and Nabi Ibrahim falls over and he hits his head on a rock. This is in the tradition. He hits his head on a rock and the blood begins to flow from his head onto the floor of Karbala. So the Prophet gets up and he prays, "Oh Allah, what have I done?" Now the thing is, obviously he'll accept anything from Allah, but he fears he's done something wrong, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has punished him. He says, "Ya Allah, what have I done wrong?" He says, "You have done nothing, but you were walking on the plains of Karbala. And in this place, the grandson of my greatest creation shall be martyred for the true faith, and your blood, when it realized it was above Karbala, had no other choice but to leave your body." Why? It wanted to act in the same way and in unison with the blood of Abu Abdullah al-Husayn. Imagine this. But this is what happened to Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam. We go fast forward, and we have other stories with the other Anbiya. Nabi Isa alayhi salam will move forward to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when Fatima al-Zahra sallallahu alayhi gives birth to Abu Abdullah al-Husayn alayhi salam, he says, "Bring me my son." And so they bring Abu Abdullah al-Husayn to him. And he holds Imam al-Husayn, and then he begins to weep. Rasulullah begins to cry. So the lady that brings Imam al-Husayn to Rasulullah, she says, "Why is it that you're crying? What are you saddened by?" He says that Jibreel has informed me that this son of mine shall be martyred on the plains of Karbala. And he begins to cry. And then he holds Imam al-Husayn up in the white cloth, and he says, "Azizun alayya ya Abu Abdullah." That this is something that's grave, that's heavy upon me, that you shall be martyred in this way that I've been told. Comes another narration in Musnad ibn Hanbal. This is a Sunni source, and in this narration Jibreel comes down and tells Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that your son Imam al-Husayn shall be martyred. He says to him that he shall be martyred on the plains of Karbala. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says to Jibreel, "I would like to smell the soil of this place where my son will be martyred." So Jibreel gives him a handful of soil of Karbala, and Rasulullah smells that soil and he begins to weep until his beard fills up with tears. That we see that Rasulullah was crying for Abu Abdullah al-Husayn even before the martyrdom, even before it happened. Is this not enough to be a sunnah? Is this not enough for it to not be a bid'ah, crying over Abu Abdullah al-Husayn? We see that Nabi Ibrahim's head was cut open and blood came out onto the plains of Karbala. Is this not enough? And then we see that Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, when he's on his way to Siffin and he's walking through the plains of Karbala, and he stops. And then he points to the ground and he says to them, "This is the place. This is the place where the tents shall be. This is the place where the camp shall be. This is the place where Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam will be martyred." And he begins to cry until his companions say, "Why are you crying so much?" He says, "May you have patience, O Husayn, in this difficult and hard time." So before the martyrdom, this is the way they are crying. Imagine after the martyrdom. What would have Rasulullah done after the martyrdom? What would he have done?